Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, this MrBeast situation has gotten so much absolutely worse, and there is so much more stuff to go and cover. Now, if you guys don't want to see any more of these videos, let me know in the comment section down below, but if you guys do, I don't want to say enjoy these because they're not enjoyable videos to make, but if you guys are just kind of curious in the ongoing, well, everything, allegations, call-outs, updates, everything, let me know in the comment section down below, or leave a like and subscribe if you guys would like. Now, we've been kind of seeing everyone on the entire planet trying to get a little baby bit of clout when it comes to this whole situation, but in all honesty, I'm just really gossipy and bored, so that's why I'm kind of making these videos, because MrBeast has now apparently had an alleged, not even alleged, I think by court documentation, registered sex offender, so someone who's interacted with underage, like children, on his payroll, which I'm going to dive into that a little bit, because I do not like that at all, especially if you're an audience and have an audience with a bunch of children where you're very able and accessible towards interacting with children. That is horrible. That is now coming out. But also, apparently, that same person, if I'm reading it correctly, I may be wrong, is also brothers or related to one of the ex-MrBeast cast members. And on top of that, MrBeast's ex-girlfriend is also now calling him out. We've also had either more old ex-employees who are involved in videos and like kind of somewhat beloved in the community before. Apparently, MrBeast's team is also racist. Like, bro, everything that's coming out right now is ridiculous. So first and foremost, take everything with a grain of salt. Usually whenever people are trying to go and like pile drive on everyone, they bring out every single thing because they know it'll get attention. Not saying that MrBeast is okay, not saying that anything he did is right, and not saying that if all these alleged things are true, he's like somehow still a good person from whatever, because a lot of these things are coming out. But I want to do that quick disclaimer as we dive on in. Check on the Target links down below. We're sponsored by Target. Let's dive onto it. Sorry for a longer intro. First and foremost, let me just kind of go through some of these. First and foremost, Rosanna, who's been involved, was in MrBeast videos, popular YouTuber, etc., has apparently now been allegedly stating, all this is alleged, never sue me, I'm just reporting the news. I have heard rumors from people working close with MrBeast that he is hiring private investigators, when the first time I read that I said please, to investigate those speaking up against him. So basically, like if you're a big YouTuber, former employee, former whatever, they're number one, trying to send out like legal cease and desist to be like, hey, you're not allowed to talk about this, you're breaking NDAs, kind of how a traditional business would do. But typically, some of these things are court of opinion or almost like hush money. Not saying that they're hushing up anyone money-wise, but it's kind of one of those things where they try to be like, hey, we're rich, we have millions of dollars, we will sue you if you break this NDA. But at this point, there is just so many floodgates being opened from this MrBeast situation where that's what they were trying to prevent. And at this point, it's one of those Streisand effects where they can't go and keep on trying to go and put a lawsuit on everyone, because at the end of the day, it just doesn't work. So they've been now apparently allegedly saying that multiple people have been hired to investigate Rosanna to see if there's any extra dirt on them, and also apparently making up fake stories and harassing people, basically being like, just, I have no idea what the proper context, but basically just assuming that things were all fake. That's bad first and foremost, but it gets actually worse. So when it comes to this one, we also had MrBeast's ex-girlfriend, who was somewhat tagged in different pictures, was in a few YouTube videos, and they're kind of like sub-tweeting, like sub-Instagramming, saying, I've spent years being quiet, never acknowledging that time in my life, just quietly cheering on those who I saw mistreated. I don't want drama, I don't want anything, I just want to speak up for my 19-year-old self. 19 and 21 are formative years, and as a young woman, it impacted the way I saw myself, the way I interpreted my future, and how I trusted men. There is no user manual, just a lot of like kind of vague posting in these comments and all this type of stuff. But one of the things kind of saying over here is that they're trying to go bring up the fact that they want to calm down from like separate posts too as well. They wanted to be like, hey, you are a scumbag for what you're pushing on the trending list, how you're treating employees, what you do for the sake of content. And some people go and say that the idea behind YouTube makes sense. Like, he's like, oh, we respect him for working 24/7. Now people are kind of being like, bro, you sacrificed everything without other people to have like a say in this. It's horrible. So his ex-girlfriend's mad about it, mad about the content he's making, disappointed in MrBeast. And some of the bigger things out here too is in regards now to some big racism callouts. So I'm going to give you guys a paraphrase because you guys don't have to watch like a crazy video, but I'm going to show you guys something really quick. I'm just going to give you guys just the highlight from the YouTube drama over here. This person in one of the more recent videos out here has now called out and said,
or that Jimmy was covering stuff up. He didn't want stuff to come out. You know, he's very careful about his image.
Basically, I'm just going to try to paraphrase you guys to make it easier. He first and foremost said that he was a somewhat higher up at MrBeast. He was like in the manager position. He had another person out there who is in a similar role, but also African American black. And he was trying to be like, hey, we should both be getting paid the same amount of money. Why am I, as a white guy, getting paid more? He kind of encourages him to step up into the management, try to go and talk about it, try to get an equal pay raise, and they end up getting fired on both ends. They both ended up getting fired. So he felt really bad because he kind of encouraged this guy with like a kid, etc., to be like, hey, let's go and like fight together. I'll vouch for you. Let's go get the same pay. Let's keep on making cool, dope videos. And then the MrBeast team was like, we're good. This is stupid. You guys are both fired. And he felt horrible about it. And I think that's still like also alleged. You don't necessarily know if it's due to racism 100% or not, but that was what he was alluding towards. And he was also crying in the videos. But as well, also in the bigger story here is that they've apparently had a child predator who has been convicted. So this is not like an alleged thing. Like the Ava Chris Tyson, a lot of that's alleged because we don't know what private conversations are. But we saw the Discord that also MrBeast was in. Anything having to do with children is not good. So that was the first thing that kind of popped, like, you know, the faucet over here where everything kind of started going crazy. And now apparently that same person was working at MrBeast, someone who is a registered sex offender by Delaware law. So this is not like an alleged thing. Someone who was unironically like convicted to being a registered sex offender was working with MrBeast. So let alone the fact that they had people inappropriately messaging minors, sharing hentai with them, and etc. Like just all that stuff, bad. Anything with minors, horrible situation, especially if you make content for minors. And obviously the Ava Chris Tyson situation. But then after this with MrBeast too, his management team and people working there are saying it's horrible in regards, like I said, to maybe closeted racism, allegedly, horrible pay and horrible working conditions. Everyone's doing absolutely horrible out here, and it just sucks. So on top of this, with all these other allegations of inappropriate responses with minors, which is not good, no matter what, that is disgusting, they also then had that. And the crazier thing over here is if you guys remember Jake the Viking, who is very, very anti the MrBeast. He's been kind of crusading against it and saying like a lot of crazy, like, I don't say crazy, but like he's just been like on the opposite side of MrBeast, calling him a scumbag, saying things are crazy. So he was pretty vocal against this. Rightfully so, for it, I hope most normal people would be. But the crazy thing is the guy who is this alleged manager and like registered sex offender, pedophile pretty much, in terms of the court of law, was actually this guy's brother the entire time. Which this is why this stuff gets crazy. So this guy was hate on MrBeast the entire time, saying all these people shouldn't be interacting with minors. 100% agree. But apparently the guy who got him in with MrBeast was his brother-in-law, who is also a registered sex offender. So this is one of the craziest situations because it's basically like these people are just spewing out stuff and then basically like they're also tied with their own stuff. Now I do want to say a big please focus on this. If someone was a registered sex offender and it's been many years, they do have a chance for rehabilitation. I do not think that they should have a horrible life due to it, but I will say this, and this might be a hot take. I don't mind if you guys disagree. I don't think if you're a registered sex offender, you should be involved in making content for children or having an easily accessible access to children, whether it's from like Discord, emails, fan emails, doing those actual MrBeast videos where he's physically on set, responding to parents, like even escorting children to go be a part of videos. Like this person should not be involved at all. Like this is like someone who's like a registered sex offender, and they're literally like a Minecraft channel, and they're doing like going to like TwitchCon and Minecon and like anime cons, and they have a chance to meet people or emailing people or in Discords or whatever. I do not think that should be allowed, period. That's just me. Like I don't mind. I do mind. I don't like anyone who's involved with minors in the first place, but like I understand they need to have jobs and move on with life. But either way, it's just why would you do this? Why, like, So anyway, his statement saying, yes, Delaware, which is kind of like the code name for him because he was in Delaware, is my brother-in-law. He is a registered sex offender. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. Delaware took a plea deal. That's why there was no jail time, but he still had to register, which you guys can take this how you will. I understand. He's trying to live his life the best way he can. If there's nothing that happened, I don't want to fault the guy, but I'm one of those people who like try to prevent bad situations from happening. Either way, his nickname is in Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware. He's from Delaware. He's the dumbest thing. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He's been back several times. He was hired before I was, and was actually the reason why I got hired at Mr. Beast. Before being hired, Delaware codename sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained the whole situation of like, hey, I used to be like, had these weird charges, whatever, and they hired him either way. Delaware was hired in 2017 and 18, and then Delaware was also let go from the company before he was. Jake the Viking was. Delaware was supposed to be behind the scenes manager, but in a couple videos, he was asked to partake because we needed people, which a lot of people are kind of calling out for even more fake videos, and even if it's just filler people, they don't like it. And he was reluctant, and he had to go put on like a mask to not show his face in public. So basically, his charges are set to be dropped this fall, so to kind of give him some stuff, but as of right this second, he has still been a registered sex offender. And I understand that. I don't want to have a bad stigma or sound like a hater, but either way, it's just with everything else involved, given the context of Mr. Beast, I don't think this is helping the cause. I do appreciate them giving someone a shot, but just with everything else that's been involved, even especially around these 2017-18 times or the Discord logs, this is not good. Anyway, so this was just a crazy video. His ex-girlfriend's mad, his community's mad, people are upset, people still haven't gotten a proper response. He did also go and send out a proper email to his community, basically being like, we got to go through like human resources and training and stuff like that. It's been a mess. I don't know. You guys give me your thoughts. This Mr. Beast thing is nutty, and I'm surprised he's not been getting more canceled for how much bad stuff's coming out all at once. Subscribe if you guys are new. We have the Twitter and Twitch screen down below. We have all the Target links. You just want to go check them out if you guys are interested, and I appreciate y'all for watching.